Hey Kyle, how you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good, Brian.
Yeah, you ready to get to the episode?
Yeah. I think today's episode is going to be pretty magical.
I agree. Hello and welcome back to the 87th episode. I'm like I'm like losing. I'm going the 87th episode of Good Bad or Bad or Bad. I'm lightheaded. Show we watch terrible movies and tell you you should too. I am your host, Mr. Brian Shilgo, sitting across the Good Bad or Bad Bad table. The other host, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, today's episode is, we thought we'd do another. We've been doing fan mail. We've been getting lots of recommendations. People sending in movies. We said, let's do another one.
So this one I know had been recommended to us once before.
We had looked at this before.
And yeah, I found a copy of it in our hometown.
Yeah.
But I didn't really look into it until somebody had sent it to us and we're like, okay, let's take another look at it. And exactly. Boy, oh boy, this movie is incredible. It's so truly terrible. I had PTSD flashbacks to Billy, whatchamacallit, the magical Billy fucker. What is that? Billy Owens.
Billy Owens.
Your soul was lost in the river.
Not only that, the makeup in this, if it was an 80s film, it would look fantastic.
Some of it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's great, and you know why some of it's great? Some of it's stolen from stuff.
Is it?
And by stolen, I mean bought and used.
I'm pretty fucking sure one of the trolls from The Good Troll is the makeup stuff from Billy Crystal in Princess Bride.
Oh, maybe. It looks like it. Here's the thing. I think they pieced together lots of stuff because the main bad guy in this movie, Dagda, like with the horns, I am fairly certain, you can look this up and insert this in the edit, I'm fairly certain it is the makeup that Giles wears in Buffy, the Vampire Slayer episode where he turns into a Fjarl demon. I am pretty sure if you look up Fjarl demon and you put that, I think they bought the makeup from that.
I'm going to have to go with you on that. I have actually not seen it.
I will show you right now and you'll be like, oh, yes, that's just the makeup from that episode.
Different horns, but
oh, are the horns different?
Yeah, the horns are definitely
okay,
different.
It's basically that makeup, but yeah, they're slightly different. I'm still not convinced because that looks good. But anyways, the movie is
Max Magician
and the Legend of the Rings.
Yay!
So banking on a lot of different properties here.
Wait, here's the crazy thing. This is from like 2002.
Yeah, although I'm just gonna take it off. It was $5.50 at your local Walmart. The thing, yes, 2002 is when IMDb credits this movie.
Yes, which means that it was probably this was shot before Harry Potter, or
no.
First, so
maybe
first Harry Potter
around the same time.
But point being is, there's a lot of stuff involved here. This feels like kind of like an 80s fantasy movie that they tried to modernize with little to no competence.
Yes. Absolutely just none. And it's but you can clearly tell, so they have Max Magician, so that's your Harry Potter character.
And I'm absolutely wrong about that. I think 2001 was the first Harry Potter film.
It was. But who knows how long they took to shoot this. But so Max Magician, you're capitalizing on Harry Potter, and The Legend of the Rings, you're obviously capitalizing on Lord of the Rings. So you have your two fantasy smash-ups here. And it even says in the front here, on the cover, 3.5 stars, couldn't even find a 4-star review. A fantasy epic in the tradition of Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
What? Are you kidding me? What?
And this cover is basically the cover box art for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Like almost exactly the same. So anyways, it's Max Magician and The Legend of the Rings. Kyle, this movie is... So if you didn't understand our opening bit because it was weird and didn't make any sense, you will understand it as we watch this movie. The entire thing is 80 yard.
The entire film is 80 yard.
When we say the entire film, we don't mean a lot of it. We mean the entire film.
And 80 yard badly.
Badly.
Summon the red cap.
Isn't that a bit excessive? The boy, after all, might prove useful to us.
And again, I cannot stress enough, sometimes we'll say, man, this whole movie's ADR. We mean like there's a lot of bad ADR. No. Every single frame of this movie, the audio was not existing in the world.
It was so bad that they cut the entire film around the fact that they couldn't sync up the audio.
Yes.
Fayun is long dead. She's merely a legend. You're lying to me again, worm.
And the Foley is terrible. talk about bad Foley. There's some footsteps in this fucking movie. Did you notice this? Every time somebody's walking, they use the same... But no matter how fast they're walking, they could be like strolling, and you hear...
Get him!
I was honestly thinking, because the costumes are kind of like, especially the villager people are kind of crappy.
Oh.
I was honestly expecting whenever they're doing like these run scenes through the forest that we just see like Nike tennis shoes eventually.
Yeah, because here's the other thing. This entire movie was shot at a Ren Fair with Ren Fair people.
Yes, exactly.
Again, this is Ember Days all over again.
In the trivia, all the weapons are made out of PVC pipe and pool noodles.
Yeah. Oh, the ones that are actual swords and stuff. Most of them are like weird just pieces. Oh, I guess that's what, the staffs, because we don't have... All of our good guys only use staves in this movie, and the bad guys use war hammers. That's it.
Can't have swords.
No, there's one bad guy who uses like axes, and he just dies randomly. But it is... Oh, okay, let's get into it. There's so much nonsense going on in this movie. Opening scene, somebody running through the woods, and it's I cannot stress all it over and over again for like the first minute and a half of this movie. It's just somebody supposedly breathing heavily, but it sounds like they're having an asthma attack into the microphone as they're running away from some bad guy. The guy falls and I guess dies, and it looks terrible. This movie is shot on video, I think. It looks like video to me and not film.
This was... Whenever they were doing the editing to some of this, you could tell how bad the quality was in it, because there's parts where they had to go in and digitally increase it, zoom.
Yeah.
And you can see every single pixel.
Every pixel. Involved. Oh, yeah. And there's a couple of really great digital zooms that they use. At least one particular digital zoom they use for effect later in the movie that we'll talk about that's fucking hilarious. But but it looks terrible. Like the quality of the whatever camera they're using is not even a high-end like digital video camera, you know what I mean? It's pretty mediocre. Yeah. Opening lens flare, J.J. Abrams would be proud, looking right into the sun. It's pretty great. He's running through the woods, and again, this makeup is already pretty good. Like the first couple makeups we see, some of this makeup in this movie is really, really good looking, and some of it is truly terrible. And I don't understand how they're all in the same movie.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I looked up the guy who worked on this movie. Who did the special effects. The reason some of it looks pretty good is because it's the only person in his entire thing who's actually worked on any real movies. He was in the special effects department for like Jack Reacher, and like a handful of other like big budget studio films. Like, and he has actual credits on IMDb. So this person kind of knows what they're doing. Everybody else involved had no idea what they're doing.
Of course,
literally,
that's how it goes a lot.
Yeah,
that's how it goes often.
Yeah. So they're running through the woods, and then the guy, I guess he got hit with an axe, and he has green blood coming out. I guess they bleed green. He has, like, green blood on his ankle, the guy running. Did you notice this?
No.
Yeah, I think he bleeds green because he's an elf, maybe. I don't know. I truly don't know.
Also, it is elves who are hidden in the forest in modern day.
Oh, yeah. Especially because we get the character. There's a character who wears a brown hood who's in the woods and goes, like, and then runs off. And I was like, if this is the cinematic crossover event of my lifetime, if this is Stephen Grew dressed as an elf.
To be fair, there are an abnormal amount of pine trees in this area.
Yeah, they're in Maryland. This was shot in Maryland primarily.
Okay.
Yes.
Completely the opposite side of the country.
No, yeah. This is primarily shot in Maryland, I found out. I looked up because I wanted to confirm something later, and we'll talk about it when we get there.
Utah.
Yeah, unfortunately not Utah. And you know how incompetent this movie is right from the get-go. So we have our cold open, somebody running for their lives in the woods, tense, scary. We don't know what's going to happen. He falls, and then the bad guy catches up to him. And how do you typically do this moment, Kyle? Because this is a classic, like, action horror beat open where he gets caught, and then you see the axe swinging down, and then we cut to black, and then you would hear, shunk, right? No.
Get some celery and just...
Right. No. The axe swings, we cut to black, and there's no sound effect. It just the movie
Which is
just
bizarre
cuts.
Because it's not like you can just Foley the sound.
Yeah, and he doesn't even need to, if you're worried about it because it's for kids, it doesn't need to be like a neck. You could just be like the shunk.
The beginning of this film has two people dying.
Yeah, and they're bleeding. So yeah, just give me a sound effect. Nothing. Oh, great. I knew we were in for it as soon as this movie freaking started. Then I guess we cut to modern day. I think.
Well, no, it's all
already
it's all
the same. At the time, I didn't realize that. I thought maybe we were like going back and forth in time.
The magical
kingdom of Bluebell ice cream, or Blue Bunny ice cream.
The magical, which is unfortunately stricken with listeria.
Yeah.
A lifetime of good times shared along the way. Have yourself a Bluebell country day.
Yeah. Yes. And Bluebell Magical Kingdom or whatever exists parallel to our world, and it's going to start leaking over, and that's where we're going to go. So then, I love this. So we cut to, and I thought modern day, but we just get to like the human world or whatever, and there's this old man gardening. Yes. And this fucking scene.
It's amazing. Okay, so it's just a scroll that pops out of nowhere.
Clearly tossed from off camera.
Yeah, well, this elf died in a doorway, basically.
Yeah, basically.
And chucked the scroll off camera.
Yeah.
And it lands in front of this old man, but there's there's nothing else around him.
No.
He reads it.
Yeah.
And I swear to fucking God, this is the moment where I was like, oh, good Lord, are they just stealing everything from Star Wars?
Yes, they are.
This is the message that was put on R2-D2 for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Which basically goes, please help us, you're our only hope.
Exactly, yeah.
The prophecy has unfolded. Help us in our quest for the Savior. You're our only hope.
And I didn't know who was supposed to be talking in this moment because, so here's the thing, I knew there was like a talking bird and a talking mouse in this movie. And during this moment when the scroll is like the voiceover of the scroll is going, we cut to both the hawk and the mouse, and I was like, wait, is this the mouse talking? Well, no, it's not.
I saw those and I was like, why do we have this?
Why? What are these?
What's going on?
Well, yeah, eventually we'll find out that they're the magical creatures.
Why do you need cutaways for a voiceover?
Yeah, it's so weird. But they're introducing the bird, even though we don't know who the bird and the mouse are yet. But so. Then he reads the scroll. He's like, "Oh, okay, they need help." And then we cut to the bedroom of Max himself, Max Magician. His full name, his birth name is Max Majak, which, well done. All right. But he's really into magic. Likes doing some close-up illusion.
Really into insanely poor hygiene. Like leaving a fucking quart of milk on his fucking bedstand all day. Like he does. Who does that?
Terrible people. Terrible.
It's like the people in your. It's like the peoples in your office building who leave like their coffee there over the weekend.
Yeah.
And they put like dairy into it and stuff, and it like has a fill over it.
Yeah.
You come in and you smell something. You're like, what is that?
What is that?
You look at it. There's an entire civilization living on that coffee cup.
This sounds like this is coming from a place of personal
hurt,
Kyle.
I'm tired of that happening. I'm coming into this place, we got open cubicles everywhere, and people just leave their goddamn coffee all over the place, and it's got like little bacteria growing on it. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Boy. All right. Usually I'm the one that goes off. So he's into magic. And then this is immediately where I was trying to figure out what year. So the movie said it came out in 2002, but the stuff in this kid's room
it's like it feels 80.
Yeah, he had his TV, and now what this probably was is that they filmed this at somebody's grandparents' house who still had all of their TV and a computer from the 80s. But the TV in particular was like, this is not a 2000s or even a 90s TV. This is like a 1980s, mid 80s TV. But okay, sure, maybe it still works. And I had an old TV, whatever. But it was still very confusing because it also mixed with the quality of how terrible this movie is. I was like, did they film this in like the early 90s and then not release it until 2002?
You could tell it is early 2000s just based off Max's wardrobe for the most part, because he's got like
giant oversized
button downs. Yes, it's like, oh boy.
Oof, not a good look. And then, so he gets to school. We find out he's a little bit clumsy. He's late for school. He falls down the stairs, whatever. He gets to school. These girls are there, and they want him to show a magic trick. And I thought they were fucking with him at first, but not actually.
No.
Then some bullies show up, and then things get real.
How are we got to show how our how do we show who is our antagonist and who's our like protagonist and stuff? What do we do? We have somebody get bullied, and then be called a nerd. And a dork.
Yeah. And then this is where first time we get the Foley footsteps of them running away. It's this. as they run off camera, not matching their feet at all.
Get him!
Show us that trick with the egg.
Yeah.
Which admittedly is funny and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny egg.
But then he just hands her the bag afterwards.
And it has the magic egg.
Like, oh, well, you just ruined your joke.
Yeah.
You ruined the magic because you clearly had the egg in the bag.
Yeah, clearly. So now she knows how the trick works. You're a terrible magician. Good job. And then this is where it was finally dawning on me, oh, this entire film's ADR. The entire thing. Because and again, sometimes you can't tell when ADR is done well. It's hard to tell. It is not hard to tell. This is all terribly dubbed over. Doesn't match the lips half the time. The inflection's never right. The volume's never right.
I mean, it's not... As far as inflection and volume and everything, it's not quite as bad as, say... what's that Canadian film that we did?
Oh, Ryan's Babe.
Now my son will never.
I don't need no lectures. Now get the hell out before I throw you out.
Yes, it's not quite on the same level of Ryan's Babe in terms of that, but it is still pretty bad. And then I was like, I try to imagine be this kid or anybody in the movie, but particularly this kid, film this entire terrible movie, and then the director comes to you and goes, by the way, I need you to say the entire movie over.
My God.
I'd be like, no, I quit. I quit. And the old man gives him a magic book or something at this. He runs and he runs.
You mean the Necronomicon?
Yeah, basically. But it has like 8 pages in it. It's the thinnest magic book in the history of magic books.
All right, here's your core rule book.
Yeah. It literally, he opens it up. It has like 6 pages. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, great. And then so he's got the magic book, and there's some great dialogue. He's like,
yeah, sure, but magic isn't real. Is it?
Is it?
Is it? No. It is in this universe, though. And then he reads the book, and he's like, a doorway to another kingdom? I'm gonna try it. And it's like, wait, we're just fucking going. The thing that this is stupid is that I feel like the guy doesn't even explain to him,
no,
you need to go you're the chosen one, go save these people. He just gives him the book, and the kid just like stumbles into it.
He's supposed to be like some ancient awesome wizard and stuff like that. You need a situation where he at least demonstrates his knowledge.
Yeah, and maybe trains him a little bit, gives him his first lesson so that he can get started. No, he just gives him the book.
Obi-Wan's like, just put the blast shield down.
This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
Yeah, none of that. We don't get any of it. It's terrible. So then he goes through the doorway, and then a mouse starts talking. The mouse he found earlier. He found the mouse outside the gate, but when he goes inside, now the mouse can talk.
This mouse is
oh boy,
so annoying.
It's very annoying. And its name is Crimble.
Crimble, yeah.
Crimble, which cool name. Crimble with a C.
Ever.
Oh my God, it's infuriating. This little mouse giggles through the entire movie, and it's
eyes and ears in this forest.
Who's Fayoun?
Well, hurry up, Max. We'll be late.
Sorry.
It really does start to grate on you after a while. The ending with Crimble is like my favorite thing ever because it's so rushed and nonsense. The end of this movie, they were just like, holy shit, we gotta wrap this up. The end.
Yeah, they got through like an hour worth of writing, and then pretty much like
they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're alive.
Thing happened. Alive.
Yeah, you're alive. You're back at the kingdom, and everybody's happy at the end.
Put a bow on it.
Yeah, it's because literally, like, you hit the end of the scene, and you're like, oh no, the character's dead, and then we cut, and then he just walks into the next scene, and is like, I'm fine now, and we're like, wow, I'm gonna get whiplash from this fucking movie. The hawk sound is back from Rough Cut. That hawk is the exact same hawk sound in this one.
Whoa! What was...
And this is when we start getting the wipes. Holy fucking wipes, Batman.
The wipes. Yes.
This movie once again leans into the Star Wars, and it's like, you know what? Fucking circle wipes, clock wipes, diagonal wipes, every type of wipe. The only one we don't get is a star wipe.
Star wipe, and we're out.
We got a wipe of a vast forest. We better wipe to a vast forest.
Exactly.
It's like in Star Wars where they're showing like nothing but empty space.
Yeah.
And they wipe
some more space. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, normal. Okay, sure, fine, great. And then he shows up at this castle. Now, he shows up to this castle and immediately, I called this so hard. Immediately, I was like, I saw it. And we all know, we've discussed this. I've been to my fucking fair share of Ren fairs. And as soon as I saw this castle, I was like, this is at a Ren fair. So then I Googled where this movie was shot, saw Maryland, and I was like, Maryland Ren Fair. Looked it up, found it, boom, that's the castle in this fucking movie. And it's not the only part of it, because they use like the entire grounds of the Ren Fair for this thing, where they're like the village or whatever. And like, look, I love Ren fairs. They do not make good movie sets. Even in a cheap, low budget, like, a kid's fun movie, it still looks terrible. Like, it still looks like a Ren fair. Like,
generally speaking, a lot of this stuff is what people will make in their free time. Very few people do this stuff professionally.
Yeah, exactly. And they're also the buildings always are like, because it's not made to be like a movie set. It's made to be like a fun place to hang out. So it's like
faux Victorian.
Yeah, exactly. So like the colors are kind of weird and bonkers, and the styles don't match up perfectly. And but it works when you're there at a Ren fair. But like in a movie, it looks ridiculous. It looks
just
so
give
bad.
me a turkey leg.
Yeah, it's like exactly. Well, there's a moment I had that later. There's a moment later in the movie where they're inside the castle Renaissance area, and like everybody's just running everywhere. And I was like, wow, they must have just announced a sale on turkey legs or something, because everybody's like, ah! They're just going for it. I also don't understand this. He walks up to the gate and the person lets him in. The magic Billy Crystal character or whatever lets him in.
Yes.
And he says this line.
A magician! Oh! What rhymes with magician?
Tactician?
Yeah, lots of stuff. What? Several things. Anything with a shin at the end.
Does that serve any purpose?
No, it never comes back. They never even talk. I didn't understand what that line meant, and I was very confused by it. But we're also see the elf from the Unexpected Race is in the woods spying, and then he runs off. I think it's the little like troll guy.
Worm guy.
Yeah, the worm guy. And then he runs to report to the evil demon from Buffy, who is there. Who also kind of looks like the master. He's like looks like every Buffy monster demon ever, really. And then the other movie this makeup guy had worked on. He worked on The Dark Knight Rises and The Road. So those are the three biggest credits I could find for him, where he was in like the special effects department. So worked on some actual stuff. We get some great classic comedy. Where this evil king under the ground or whatever he's got to wrap his scene up. So he goes, I'm off to do king things. And in the middle of his line, they added a fart sound effect. Because, kids like farts. That's hilarious.
Now I'm off to do king things.
You know what would help this movie infinitely is, one, if they didn't fucking make it. But two, like you said. But two, if they had one person who knew how to light a scene.
Yes.
Because they have some again, now Ren Fair is not the best place to shoot your movie, but if you light it and shoot it creatively, I think you could make it work. Same thing with these caves. These caves that they shoot in are cool. They're fine. It's just caves or whatever. But they're all like lit okay. And I think part of it's the camera, just the sensor on the camera is not doing a great job capturing the complexities of the light and stuff. But
early digital kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your dynamic range is pretty weak and shitty, so I get that, all of that. But man, if they had somebody that could shoot a fucking movie, this movie would be at least bearable to look at as it is, because it's all. I mean, you're never fixing it the acting / ADR, but at least it might be bearable to look at. But as it is, it's bearable to do nothing.
No, this is a whole bunch of. Get some floodlights.
Yeah.
Stick some diffusion on them.
Yeah.
And just blast
everything. Yep. Cool. Making a movie on. Gotta go.
Yeah. You're outside. Get like a white tapestry thing and just like lay it over here.
Yep. And we have one guy who just holds up a giant white sheet and walks around wherever we're filming. It's great. So then we cut to a feast. Max goes to the feast, and there's a little moment in this feast. He meets the princess. Who cares who the princess is? She doesn't matter. She's like, I'm the princess. He's like, cool. I think I'm like half your age, but I think we're gonna fuck later. They don't. It's a kids movie. But in this scene, the bad guys show up, And I don't know if you noticed this, but the bad guys show up and they burst through the door. And the first guy that comes through has like a big fake like Warhammer or something. The second guy that comes through is carrying a croquet mallet.
Yes! I saw that and I was like, what is going on here? Are they going to play a round or two when they're done?
I was like, you only had one good weapon prop. This is like the moment where the bad guys bust through the door. You had one cool like Warhammer. The second guy has a croquet mallet.
Like, oh god, I saw this and I was like, what is this, like family getaway weekend? Like a crappy croquet setup?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me with a croquet mallet? There's also some weird fish monster thing at the feast who's just like, and I don't understand. Like, there's just like random species that again, like, so we have elves, like we have the people with the ears and it's like a typical fantasy thing, and we have like demons and stuff, and then we have like a weird fish slime monster that's just like hanging out. I don't know what it is. And then he starts hitting people with his book because he doesn't know how to use it, so he just hits somebody with it.
And it works?
And it works. Like, and we get and I say the spell effect of this movie, which is multicolored sparkles across the screen.
It's just like Billy Owens again.
Yes. Oh my god. I was had so many flashbacks to Billy Owens with this fucking movie.
Brian's PTSD.
It was just like I was in that moment where I'm just like, it's like that GIF with the dog. Yeah, I said GIF. Go fuck yourself. No, but that with the dog where it's like just staring and there's like flashes of like Vietnam and stuff. It's just like me with Billy Owens.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Oh god. And then so he hits a guy with a book. It works. It saves the day. And then he ends up back home or something.
So the place was just raided, Brian.
Yeah,
it was just raided.
Yeah.
They let this 12-year-old kid walk off. And then he leaves.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell the old dude, I think his name is Mr. Tim.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell him about what's going on.
Nothing.
It's just like, I'm just gonna go home.
I'm just gonna go home. I'm just gonna go home. And I love this whole scene is like the epitome of the ADR and the performance in this is when he gets home and he lies to his mom about where he was. His excuses, just the performance and the ADR in this scene. I can't capture it, so I'm just gonna let you put it in here because I was like, oh my, this is fantastic.
I was worried sick about you.
Oh, I went with my friend to his house, and on the way back I got lost because I didn't know the way, because I've only been there once, and it was with him.
That's fine, but next time you need to let me know where you are, okay?
Okay.
And then he ends up in bed, and he's like, oh, I thought we were going to get like a maybe none of it was real scene, but we don't get that.
He also gets caught in the house with the mouse, with Trimble.
Yes.
And there's a situation where the mom freaks out.
Yeah.
And the dad comes up with a rolled up newspaper.
Yeah.
And then we have a situation where he's like, can I keep the pet? Can I keep the rat, Dad?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, because what I say goes in this house.
Yeah. And it's also in that moment with the mouse where he's upstairs. I think it might be after that. And it's like clearly a stoner joke. Did you notice this? So he's reading the book and he casts a spell on accident that's like a fog spell.
Oh, yeah.
And like the whole room turns pink and sparkly. And then him and the mouse just start laughing their ass off. And the mom's downstairs like, what's going on up there? And he's like, oh, we're fine. And I was
we're
classic stoner joke in your little kids movie. Pretty good stuff.
Max, you okay?
Oh no! Well, what you gonna do?
I'm okay.
Oh, yeah, because that's that line. The dad, I think, has the line when he comes up, and because I have a note specifically about the line where they're talking about the mouse, and the dad goes, a mouse, Max? You want to keep a mouse? Like, there's like a really long, like, what?
A mouse, Max? You want to keep a mouse?
A mouse?
Yeah, what is going on?
And then the ADR with the breakfast scene the next day with the dad is just, it's like this dad could not be fucked to even try to get his lines right. He's like, this is stupid. I refuse.
I know Crimble's your friend and all that, but don't you think the kids are going to pick on you more if they think you talk to them?
And they reuse sound effects a lot in this movie, including like people's like laughs and stuff. There's this scene, the mom laughs, and then immediately they just repeat the exact same laugh cut again. And it reminded me of the Mummy with the trailer.
What? Whoa. That boy.
Bye.
The breakfast scene, like Max is asking about something.
I don't
remember
remember
what it was.
I don't remember.
But the mother keeps deferring to the dad, who, like you said, could not be bothered.
No.
And his whole perception of his character is just like, just I'm reading the sports section. Just
leave me alone. Yeah, disinterested dad.
And the mom's just like, yeah, loving family.
Yeah. She's like, oh, no, this is very dysfunctional. You guys need to go to couples counseling or something. Yeah. I love it. And then, so again, none of the editing and none of the amount of clips that we could put of this movie in will truly ever capture just how bad all of the ADR and performances are in this movie. But I love this. So he's going back into the magic world because he needs to go help, and he runs into Mr. Tim again or whatever. And I love this moment. Mr. Tim's like sending him off with like a good message or whatever. He's like, you can do it. And he goes and he...
Believe in yourself, Max. Promise me that.
Okay, I promise. Bye, Mr. Tim.
He taps on his shoulder, and the sound, like, he gives him like a pat, and the sound of
what it sounded like is that he accidentally hit the mic cord that should be hooked up to his Sennheiser wireless mic.
Yeah, he taps on his shoulder, and it sounds like it's hitting the microphone, and I was like, what is happening?
And then he also gives like the line like, how do I know when I'm ready? You is like, or I'm afraid of, and he goes,
I'm not that good at any of the spells yet.
You will be. You will be.
You will be. You will. It's like, good Lord, pulling a fucking Yoda on us.
You.
Not only do they pull a Yoda on us, what happens? Yoda. What happens when he walks through that door?
Oh, motherfucking Fayoun comes up.
This dude he's got some tats going, long beard, robes,
real long beard, bald,
and he is entirely Yoda.
Yes.
And not only is he entirely Yoda, the very next scene we get a Dagda montage.
We get a training montage of him teaching little Max how to do magic by just reading random pages. That seems to be how you do magic, is just read random pages in the book.
It sounds at least a little bit better than waving a magic wand and making words appear.
True. It is better. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just because literally all he does is just read, and I'm just like, okay, is that your message? Like, reading is magic? Maybe. Fuck you. Like, okay.
The fact that you said most of that with your eyes closed,
I was very upset with them. They don't get to see my eyes when I criticize them. And then there's also some truly great music during the montage. That the music in this movie almost never fits the scene that is happening.
You know the worst part is you can almost tell that none of this was necessarily royalty free.
No,
because they had to license it.
Yeah, and it's all credited in the end too.
Why did you pay money for that?
No. Well, and it's the music. The music isn't great. It's also not terrible. But the biggest problem is they have entire scenes where the scene starts with one sort of dynamic of the emotion going on and then completely changes by the end. But they play the same upbeat song the entire scene. There's one scene in particular where it's like a flashback or whatever to when the queen is being kidnapped or whatever.
Was I a little confused in thinking that the queen and Max's mom...
They're the same character actress! They have to be!
I don't think so. I think it's the same. I think it's very, very similar.
No, they're the same people, because I thought it was the same person too. And I asked Katie, and Katie was like, yeah, that's the same person.
I looked up the credit. Different credit. Yeah, different.
They have the same haircut and everything.
I know what they have. They have of the time.
I love
essentially the Karen haircut.
It's hilarious on his mom, but it's way funnier on a medieval queen who has his queen mom haircut.
It's a Catwoman, Halle Berry hair.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. But yeah, she definitely has the queen mom haircut. Like, she's a queen and she has the speak to your manager haircut. And I'm like, you are the manager! You're the queen! There's nobody above you. And then the montage, it's like I said, the montage is terrible. It's just him doing magic tricks, and Fune just stands there like, good, yes.
Cast the spells you must.
Yeah, fucking stupid. And then, so he, at one point, I don't remember how this happens. He wakes up in the forest, and I don't remember if he just took a nap or what.
I think he took a nap because he's like, boom, Yeah. Grimble? Where are you guys?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. He can't find Crimble. So it's like 30 seconds of this little kid walking around in the woods yelling Crimble, but it sounds like he's yelling cripple, just like, Cripple! Cripple! I was like, oh no. Oh no, what is happening? Yeah, but I guess he's yelling Crimble.
Kids film. You know what we need to do? Hire mercenaries to kill little kids.
Battle, fight.
And battles.
And battles. This is, I think, where we get a fight. Yeah, this is the big fight. The first fight.
Okay, so this is where he has to use his magic.
This is so stupid. I love how stupid this is. So there's like the good guys, I guess they're the good guys, suddenly get overrun by a gang of bad guys who all have war hammers.
Mm-hmm. All the elves are ninjas, by the way.
Yeah. Yes, they are. And they're all unarmed currently, though. And so the whole thing of what Max has to do in the scene is arm the good guys. And they can't get to their weapons, which is a big pile of staves sitting against a tree. And my favorite moment in this whole scene is that in order to make it clear to us what Max needs to do and why, one of the good guys, as he's being attacked, turns around and stares at the pile of staves and goes, Staves! Just yells staves at and I was like, oh, I guess they need those.
Of course, if I was directing that part, that's where he would get an axe.
Yeah, exactly. A warhammer. Let's be real, Kyle. They all have warhammers.
Only bludgeoning weapons here.
Yeah, and so he needs a staff, and then we get an inspirational bird speech. The bird gives Max an inspirational speech about how he can save them.
Look how passionate that bird is.
Yeah, so passionate.
Believe, Max. Believe in yourself.
And then Max uses magic to make the staves fly to the good guys. And I love the guy who earlier yelled, and that he like staves. One flies to him, he catches it, and he goes, staff. I was like, what? Are you a Pokemon? What is going on? I swear it's the same guy. He's like, staves, and then he gets one, he's like, staves. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Oh, that feels like an 80s like beer commercial.
Yeah.
Budweiser.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like the only thing I could say is the product word. Yeah.
How can they fight what they cannot see?
And I was like, all right, Shanks, or not, who's the Chinese
Sun, something like that.
Yeah, the war philosopher or whatever. You know,
victorious warriors go win first and go to
how can they fight what they cannot see?
I think the art of war. I think it's Sun.
Sun. But it's two names. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Sun Tzu, or I don't know. Who knows? Everybody knows in the comments. But and then so then he gets clocked though. He helps save the day. By casting the pink stoner fog from earlier on the bad guys. So now they can't see. They light off some smoke bombs on set to kind of add a cool pink fog. But Max gets clocked with a hammer and is out cold. And then he comes to with a bandage on his head, immediately takes it off and is fine.
Yep. Oh man, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah, it's just fine.
Hemorrhage? Never heard of it.
Nah, he's good. And then this is where we get all the flashbacks. And again, isn't that Max's mom like 8 times in my notes?
Yeah.
Apparently it's not. It's just some woman who looks exactly like them. And the demon dude's flirting with her because he wants to combine. So the story here is that there's 2 kingdoms. Well, there's more than 2, but there's at least 2 kingdoms. One of them is the fairy or the elf kingdom of the woods, and then there's the underground kingdom that Dagda, who's this demon guy, runs or whatever. And he wanted to like unite the kingdoms. They used to like kind of work together. He wanted to unite the kingdoms or something, but the queen doesn't want to for I don't remember. So he kidnaps her. He kidnaps the queen. And some of the ADR here has some real good loud pee popping. Like the guy's like power and pair, and he's just like, all right, back off the mic a little bit, dude.
We would have made such a powerful pair.
Back off the mic.
Use a popper.
Yeah, use one of these. That's what they're there for. And this demon, though, I will give this movie this. The guy who plays the demon
is fucking over the top. Yeah,
goes for it.
He just owns it.
He does so much. He does so many little like face things all the time and makes weird little like weird noises, and it's just everywhere. It's kind of amazing.
Worm. Where's Fetch? I need Fetch. Fetch. Fetch!
Oh, and this is the scene I was talking about, where the music at the start of the scene, they're having a normal conversation, and it's like happy love music.
Well, it ends with him kidnapping her,
and the music never changes. The music starts with a happy love music, and then it clearly becomes he's going to kidnap her, and it just stays the same music. And I'm like, switch.
Hello, Dagda. What brings you into the sunshine?
My queen.
Oh, do you think this was done on a linear editing software?
This was done on this was done with a pair of little Fisker kid scissors and some paste. They cut this fucking movie together. There's no way. They used scissors. They shot it on video. They somehow printed it out all onto film, and then they chopped it all up, and then they dubbed it back.
Their fucking Fisher-Price scissors.
Yeah, and then they converted it back into video. That's why it looks so fucking terrible. And then he punches her and takes her ring. Which is hilarious.
And then whenever they start talking about the rings, like the rings give powers.
It doesn't matter.
And I was like, oh god, how many rings are there?
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's 7?
7?
There's 7 rings?
7 rings of power.
Do they rule them all?
Yeah, right? Oh, fuck you. That's the other thing too. There's like zero. This is also just derivative, and there's nothing interesting going on in this entire story. That's like a unique idea.
It is the most bland, indigestible story.
Yeah.
Possible.
No, digestible. Yeah, like in the terms of, it's indigestible in the fact that it like doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it is digestible in the sense that there's nothing interesting going on. So your stomach just goes right through you.
It's like prunes.
Yeah, it just goes right through you. It's just it's literally what's that Soylent stuff that like the food where you don't have to eat anymore. You just like blend up a protein powder stuff that has like everything you need, and it tastes like cardboard or whatever. It's that. God. Yeah.
You gotta tell him. Silent Breed is people!
And so I will give this movie this. Unlike Billy Owens, this movie didn't make me insane because there was nothing to not understand about this movie. I wasn't confused about who. Like, Billy Owens tries to have like a lore and some crazy back mythos of like all these weird characters, and none of it made any sense. This movie is just like, there's rings, also, they're powerful.
They didn't base the fact that this like 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid or whatever, they didn't base the fact that it's like, we need a young hero at the age of his whatever. Yeah. No, he's just a guy. He's just a kid.
Yeah.
Who was given a book.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, because he likes magic. I guess is part of it. I don't even know.
You know what would I personally hate films that do that, where it's like, here's the prophecy at the age of whatever age we needed to write into this stupid movie.
Yeah. Well, and you know what would have been clever? You know what would have been even the slightest bit of cleverness in this movie? Is if one of the things that helps him save the day is his love of magic. And so he needs to use because in this world, these fairy, elf, and demons and stuff have never seen human close-up magic.
He needs diversion.
Yeah, so he creates diversions by making doves come, whatever, something like that. Do that, and then it's no. He literally just reads from a book, and then saves the day because that's the power of love. I don't know, I don't understand what you listen to the news, baby.
That's the power of love.
And then the dad shows up and wants to get the queen back, and he challenges Dagda to a duel, and Dagda just straight up is like, no.
I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, he's like, no, I quit.
And by the honor of my knights and yours, I will fight you to the death for her return.
Now, hold on a second.
And also, so some of them make up real good. This is one of the moments, the mom, the queen or whatever, her elf ears are an entirely different skin tone from her face.
I was really hoping that eventually one of the ears would just slowly start to fall off while they were shooting.
Yeah. And the edges are truly terrible around the bottom of her ears, and all I could hear was Glenn Hedrick being like, those are really terrible edges.
Fortunately, there's no extent of goofy storytelling that will make this any better than it is.
My second ever Face Off reference on this show, so you're welcome, 6 people out there.
I I want to take his face off.
I'd like to take his face off.
Yeah, different face off, but yeah. TV show.
Okay, gotcha.
We get like back-to-back 6 flashbacks or something right here that we always go into with a ripple wipe thing, like a ripple fade, which is it's terrible. And I love, so the bad guy, the second in command bad guy who becomes a good guy randomly at the end for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. What was that about?
I don't fucking have any idea, and they don't explain it. But he walks into, like, so the queen gets returned, but something's still going on. It doesn't matter. So he shows up with a little box at their feast or whatever. And I love the box is like, it's a wooden box.
Yes.
And it's like, that would be fine for whatever it's supposed to be. But they're like, we need to amp this up. We need to kick this up a few notches. I know. Let's let your 7-year-old daughter bedazzle it.
Oh man, I'm going to glue little gems all over it.
And they're clearly gem stickers. Like, they're like, oh, it looks so stupid. But she opens it and it's got magic poison gas.
Yeah, and he just walks away.
And he just laughs. And nobody is, except for the queen. It only hurts the queen because she gets put into like a Sleeping Beauty sleep, like but
he also walks away unapprehended.
Yeah, nobody tries to stop him. So much oversight in this movie of like
nobody stops the kid from running away from this assault.
No,
nobody stops this guy from running away after.
No wonder your kingdom's falling. Yeah, exactly. You guys are terrible.
You might deserve this.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened. Oh, and I love too the sound effects in that scene as we fade back to current time. Whoever was editing this doesn't know what a constant power gain dissolve is or whatever. Just we cut back to modern time and the sound effects just end. It's just like.
So that's how it all started.
They just end like in the middle of the scene. They're just like, whoop, okay, done. And we get another great line read from the demon. I don't even know what this is in reference to, but somebody he's gonna call the red camp to hunt the little boy.
The red
whatever.
What?
The red camp, I think, isn't
cap.
Cap? Oh, red cap.
So
yeah.
Do you know what a red cap is?
No.
So a red cap it's more, I guess, might be more D&D lore.
Is it a D&D
I'm sure it's Tolkien-esque in nature.
I don't remember
but it's supposed to be a murderous kind of hobgoblin-esque type thing.
Right.
Usually smaller creature. But
he looks like the guy from Masters of the Universe. Katie pointed this out to me. Sorry, continue.
But they have like this red hat that makes them crazy, but they can't, like, they go even more insane without it. Oh. And they just are murderous with it on.
Okay, so yeah, so a red cap. I thought he was saying red camp, like they were like it was like a mercenary group called the Red Camp or something.
Cool. No, it's just one guy.
One guy with a red hat. But the line reading in this moment is the frog or the toad, whatever the guy worm guy is like.
Isn't that a bit excessive?
The demon. Which no,
I have tried to hijack a kingdom.
Yeah, I'm literally. Do you not know what we're doing here, dude? We're trying to take over the world. Get on my level. But he goes. Excessive.
Excessive is my middle name.
And he says it like he's trying to seduce somebody. What? I don't know what's going on, but it's fucking amazing.
Look, I'm all for world domination, but I think we're stepping a little over the line here.
Over the line. Let's just dial it back a bit. Let's dominate the world nicely. And then something happens where somebody gets spun. Miracle Max gets spun in circles, and who cares?
Whatever.
And Max says all they use is sticks to fight. They need better weapons like cannons and guns and laser beams.
You guys need like guns and cannons and laser beams. Cool stuff.
And I was like, all right, dude. How old are you supposed to be? Laser beams? Okay.
But they're like, no. We have to be one with the forest.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. How's that working for you?
Yeah, exactly.
How's that working for you?
Points to dead people on the ground over there.
Yeah, all of your dead slaughtered villagers. And I love, my favorite moment in this is that I thought I don't know if this is intentional, but we get a very suggestive line and then the scene ends. He goes, all you have is sticks. And she goes, yeah, we use sticks and she goes, like, all you have is sticks to fight with. And the princess, who's like the love interest kind of, says to him,
have you seen what a stick can do?
No, but...
Come, I'll show you.
And then they walk off camera, and I was like, wait a second. What's going on here?
All right.
Oh, my.
And though it's just a really terrible training montage.
Oh,
again.
I love the her doing stick foo on... They needed Stick Fighter in this one. They really needed... He would have been there to save the day. There's 2 movies in a row where people fight with sticks. God damn it. Did not plan that.
He would have teabagged the red cap.
Just jumped the red cap and fucking whoever, I don't remember who commented this, but whoever on YouTube commented teabag toboggan. You win. Congratulations. You win the comment section. So they show him how to fight with a stick, whatever. And then there's a random scene where the demon says he wants to take over the other kingdom that we've never heard. None of that matters. We're moving on. And then, I love one of my favorite things, and Katie pointed this out, is that in order for the red cap to find Max, they draw him a picture. Let's establish what's going on in this universe real quick, Kyle. They're hunting down. They're in a fairy elven universe. They're hunting down. They need to find the only human child in the entire kingdom.
Yes.
You don't need a fucking picture of him.
Maybe he's just really stupid.
He's like, got his picture. He's like, is he here? And it's like, everybody else is elves and demons and shit.
This book don't have pictures.
Yeah, it's so fucking dumb.
And then the red cap attacks Max.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, the next scene is the worm shows up. And Max attacks him.
Is starting to beat him with a stick?
Yeah, it's literally, it reminded me, it's the King of the Hill where he's like, that's my purse, I don't know you, and it starts hitting him in the nuts over and over again. Because he goes, who are you? Whack, 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 whack. And just keeps hitting him. And then the worm tells him the mercenary's after you. They sent a mercenary after you.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, and then boom, red cap guy shows up. He beats up the red cap guy and just wins, and now that's over.
Yeah. And then he doesn't show up again.
No.
He's not necessarily dead.
No, but he's just done. I guess he gave up. He just maybe
kid beat me up.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, maybe he just had like his feelings hurt and he was like, I quit. And then this is that scene that's just pure chaos when he gets back to the Ren Fair and everybody's just running everywhere and the princess calls him a dumbass because he brings a fool.
You have just proven yourself a fool, bringing the enemy right into our safety zone.
She goes, you're a fool, you brought that worm here, and he goes,
A fool? I am not.
The reading of the line, I don't know what they were. He goes, a fool? Bad. I am not?
Why does he have a Marty McFly complex?
I don't know. I don't know.
You chicken McFly?
Yeah, he goes, a fool? And she says, you brought a bad guy into our safety zone.
You got a troll as the front doorman.
Yeah. And who calls it a safety zone? Like, you mean your castle? Like, what are you talking about? Your safety zone? All right, cool.
And also, there's not much safety at this point because, as she mentioned, every man, woman, and child
has to fight. Because they're being attacked. And then Max's book vibrates and carries him away. Like, it shakes and he flies away with it. And he says, X marks the spot. And because he basically decides he needs to help them.
Yes.
By resurrecting.
Summoning fallen soldiers.
Yeah.
We fight with nature here. We use nature sticks and stuff like that. Cool. I'm going to summon some dudes in armor.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, cool, thanks. You can do that. Yeah, as long as you do it, I guess it's fine. Because he straight up summons the Black Knight and 3 of his buddies to show up and fuck shit up.
If he's like, you know what would really help right now?
Yeah.
Like an M4 or something.
Yeah. He summons a fucking bazooka. He summons the Syndicate Smashers and they just show up with their minigun. But I love too, for whatever reason, the demon is really obsessed with how nice of a day it is. And he's really upset that this war is ruining his very nice fall day. Or what?
Why do you interrupt me on this beautiful autumn afternoon?
So strange. Also, the guy who plays the demon, something in his eyes looks like Neil Breen. His eyeballs and his eye shape and his hair maybe looks like Neil Breen.
You can like see the lifelessness.
Yes, but there's no way because he emotes 10 times more than Neil Breen has ever emoted in anything he's ever been in. So it's clearly not played by Neil Breen, unless Neil Breen really has to be in makeup and in character to get out.
It's Neil Breen's twin brother.
Holy shit. It's Cade or Kale.
Yeah, exactly. Whichever one it is.
It's pretty great. And then he resurrects some dead knights with lightning. That happens. And then the epic battle commences.
Punch.
Our second in command bad guy gives his battle charge and says,
I want you to go and destroy the Bluebell Kingdom.
Meow! And then they charge.
What was that?
I don't know. It was so weird. It's so weird. Epic battle commences, and by epic I mean epic battle commences. They just buried those knights in the leaves, and they sit up out of the leaves. I was like, wonder how long they had to sit under those wet leaves while they were setting up this shot or whatever.
Are we good? I'm not sure how long the stainless steel is good for.
I'm starting to rust in place. I don't think I'm going to be able to get up. And then, but as he's resurrecting them, the demon shows up, and the trees save Max. I think, like, he gets hit by a vine or something.
They save him, but for only so much.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was going to be the end of the demon. I was like, that was very anticlimactic because we don't see him for a while. But no, he shows up again. And my favorite part of this battle is there's one shot where some people are fighting. And they did say, to be fair, that every man, woman, and child had to go fight.
The kids are kicking that dude's ass.
Maybe there's kids. All I noticed is there's one shot in the background. There's just a little girl like screaming and turning in a circle, like not sure what to do. She's just like,
she's one of those henchmen of Bane's who's like fighting Batman.
Yeah.
And then like rolls off to the side.
Yeah. Exactly. She's literally just standing in the background as stuff's happening. Like, I'm 6. I don't know what to do. It's great.
Take this sword. You must take a life.
Yeah. She has no idea what to do. And this, so it's funny because he resurrects these knights in full on armor, full plate mail or plate armor. And it's kind of hilarious because the bad guys, this whole time we've realized, all fight with warhammers. Mm-hmm. That's like the one weapon you wouldn't want to go against wearing full plate armor because they can just cave your fucking chest in and kill.
Yeah.
Like, plate armor is really effective against cutting weapons and stuff and
slashing.
And slashing. That's what I mean. Yeah, the cutting, slashing, whatever. Because you can't cut through it and that sort of thing. And certain piercing stuff, it depending on how powerful it is, can't get through. So like normally it's really tough because like when we have fight in full armor, you have to like find weak points and stuff like that to like get into their armpit or whatever.
Surprisingly, Brian does not actually play D&D.
I don't play D. I'm talking about real life, Kyle.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about fucking historical European martial arts here, Kyle. But no, like, so when they fight, they have to like get like use knives and swords and try to like get. This is why like when they fought like with swords in full armor, that a lot of times they'd use 2 hands and like on the and half bladed or whatever, so that they could like direct it into like your armpit or like under your neck or something and find a chink in the armor. Like that's where it comes from. But hammers pretty effective against armor because you just hit it and dent it, and now suddenly they can't breathe. Yeah, like so like it's not ideal, but they just walk through like zombies and just toss everybody aside. They don't even have weapons. They just walk through and beat everybody up. It's like cool, great. And then Dagda shows up and calls Max an insubordinate wench.
You insubordinate runt.
But as he's about to kill Max, Crimble
jumps on him and is like, I hate rats.
Terrified of mice, I guess.
And then he just chucks him.
Yeah, he throws the fucking mouse across the forest, which is hilarious. But then Max, I guess now he's incapacitated because Max sits and spends 30 seconds reading a book while Dagda's like just laying on the ground.
So you're just gonna read from that and cast a spell.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right, I guess I'll just lay here and let.
It's your standard action, so I have to wait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He literally is like, I've used up all my action points. I just gotta sit here. Like I don't know, because I just gotta sit here and be scared of the mouse that jumped is not on me anymore. And he summons a bunch more mice.
Yeah.
That cover the guy, and he freaks out, and this kills him.
And then he turns into a rat,
which we don't realize now. Again, this feels like part of the weird wrap up at the end. Yeah. Because in this moment, he seems to just poof into smoke.
He's just like, and
he's gone.
Rats made him disappear.
Yeah. Don't understand why. But
okay.
Sure, fine. The mice made him disappear because mice. But then Max finds the Crimble and is dead. Crimble's dead.
Yes.
Crimble is dead. It's a little dead mouse.
They have an actual dead mouse.
I don't know if they use an actual dead mouse or a stuffed mouse, but it's pretty convincing. And he's sitting there talking to the dead mouse, and he's like, "You're my best friend." I'm like, "Really? You guys know?" Okay, sure.
This rat's also incredibly annoying.
Yeah, very annoying. Also, you barely know each other. Oh, well, sure, fine. Your mouse
vomited in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, but sure, the mouse is your best friend. And this line, he says this line in this moment. He goes,
"But if I could only have one wish, it would be to bring you back to fight a spell. Or anything that could make you alive again, Crimble."
If your wish is to bring them back, you don't need the second... He goes, "I wish you could come back alive so that we could find a way to bring you back to life." And it's like, but you already succeeded if they come back...
Well,
what?
The second part's a contingency for when this mouse is going to get himself killed again.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Which will happen.
Yeah, true, which will happen because somebody will just drop kick it because it's the world's most annoying mouse. The knights get voiped into electricity and disappear. They save the day, I guess.
We're good? We're good? All right,
bye. Yeah, and they're out of there. And then there's some nonsense dialogue. Tim's like, "Max, what about your..." Max leaves the kingdom, and Tim is like, "What about your promise?" And I was like, "What promise? I don't even know what you're talking about." And I thought he already saved him, so didn't he fulfill his promise by saving the kingdom? Or if he did make a promise, I don't remember any. I don't know. Whatever.
The bullies show up again.
Then this is it. This is the, oh shit, we gotta end this. Because the mouse was dead. He says, "I wish you were alive." We cut back to the real world. Bullies show up and they're like, "We're bullies. We're here to bully you." And then...
Ryan, we have everything's open-ended in this movie right now.
Yeah.
We wrapped up literally one plot point.
Yeah.
We have like 6 more right now. We need you to finish it in like 2 pages.
Oh, okay. So here's how I do that. The bullies from the beginning start picking on Max, and then Crimble just appears as a human person.
But also with a rat, but also he's an elf and has ears.
Yes. And that has never been established previously that he was an actual person, right? I don't remember them saying, like, you were cursed into a mouse or whatever. I thought it was just a mouse that could talk. But now he's a person. He's an elf. He just shows up in the real world with another mouse. And I'm like, what mouse is that? Which is actually what Max asked him eventually. He's just like, "Hey, I'm here. Your wish worked, Max. Good job. I'm alive. I'm Crimble. I'm your best friend. Let's hang out and be together." And then Max is like, "Well, who's that mouse?" He goes, "Oh, this mouse? Ha! It's Dagda. Wrap that plot." What? He turned into a mouse? He just poofed into smoke. Now he's a... What is happening? What is... And then he wakes up to go to school the next day. Oh, and no. And then he's like, "Oh, we got to go to
yeah. He wakes up and he has an apple in his room. Why? That's another thing. Why does this kid keep leaving food in his goddamn room?
Don't know.
Sorry, I just get really frustrated when people leave shit like that just out and about.
Yeah. And so the mouse is Dagda, and then... But then they go to the feast before he wakes up. He goes to like the celebratory feast. And this is what we were talking about earlier. The second in command bad guy
is there for no reason,
kneeling to the queen and smiling.
Yeah.
And then just gets up and walks away, and they don't ever address...
Look, I may have murdered a few of your townspeople, but honestly, look at me and be like, can you really stay mad at this guy?
I mean, he is pretty handsome. But he's also, I guess the implication is that he like saw the error of his ways and is now pledging fealty to her or something.
Look, it has nothing to do with the fact that you're probably going to behead me.
Yeah.
But I see the error of my way.
Yeah. Also, you don't want to let me get out of here. I mean, you don't want to kill me. I got this really sweet faire armor, and I can put it to good use protecting.
This really sweet sweater with a whole bunch of like crappy leather
stitched onto it. Yeah, it's great. And then so he shows up at home, and they're in his closet now. My Crimble and the other random people are in his closet.
Hiding in his closet
for some reason. I don't know whatever. And then Max, they give Max the ring previously at the little celebratory thing. He gets the Ring of Power for some...
He also... Yeah, here's the thing. The Ring of Power, which helps him connect to the other world, was like...
Fuck if I know.
You have rings of power that give you, like, I don't know, beauty, power, or some other stuff. You give me one that lets me communicate. You basically give me, a walkie-talkie for your world.
It's a magic walkie-talkie.
That's it?
That other person gets to live forever. I get a magic walkie-talkie? Fuck you. I can just walk through the door and see you whenever I want. Why do I need this stupid walkie-talkie?
This is just like for your grandmother, where you can call me on the weekend and say, Max, you haven't come here to visit us.
Yeah. And then Dagda's in the aquarium.
Max is like, I need help with math. Oh, I know math. No, you don't. You lived in a forest for
why would you know
years.
math?
Also, they want to play PlayStation because...
Then we can play the PlayStation.
There's no way that was product placement. There's no way there's any product placement in this movie. He just wants to play PlayStation.
Also, it's not PlayStation 2, which would have been out at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Unless
he might have just called it PlayStation
2000.
Some people
but it would have been Sega Dreamcast.
True, but yeah, he probably just called it a PlayStation, even though it was PS2 or whatever. Or it's probably PlayStation based on the kid's computer and TV that he has in his room. It probably is a PlayStation
with his Windows 95.
Yeah. And then Dagma's in the aquarium. He's a mouse now, and he's in a perpetual state of slavery. Hilarious. Kids, happy ending.
Yay!
And then the movie ends. We get a circle wipe to the end. Circle wipe, the end. I have one other thing to say. I didn't see anything interesting in the credits, but I did look up this director who's made basically one other movie that matters. It was made in 2006, and I feel like we need to do this one day. It's not a sequel, but it's got a great name. It's called Adventures of Young Van Helsing, The Quest for the Lost Scepter. That's got to be amazing. There's no way, based on this movie, that movie's not also shot at a Ren Fair and also incredible.
And you know what else it is? I guarantee you, it's an Indiana Jones ripoff.
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah.
Oh,
based on the cover,
another George Lucas movie you can just rip off.
Yeah. Based on the cover, it's absolutely an Indiana Jones ripoff. I saw the cover for the movie, and and I love it's like Adventures of Young Van Helsing because he only cast kids in his fucking movie for some reason. But the cover is...
Look, I need to cast kids in my film so
they don't know.
So A, the kids don't know, and B, the critics are less likely to ridicule them.
Yeah.
Or else I will chastise them for ridiculing a child for bad acting.
No, it's definitely that. Yeah. So that's the cover of The Adventures of Young Van Helsing. And there's no way that's not an Indiana Jones ripoff.
Yeah.
It's got Knights Templar or something in the background.
Wait, what year did it come out?
2006.
National Treasure.
Oh, yeah. Was that around the same time?
I'm pretty sure National Treasure was like 2005 or 6.
Yeah, that's going to be... I can't...
Somebody would basically this guy basically just opened up his Variety magazine and was like, that looks interesting. I'm going to copy that.
Yeah. Yeah, which is what... The same thing with fucking Billy Owens and Harry Potter. It's absolutely another one of those. Kyle... I have to go good bad on this. I have to. I had so much fun with just how ridiculous all of the ADR was. Like,
I got my good bad about 10 minutes or 15 minutes into the film, and then the rest of it I was like, I mean, you're not reaching any other points.
Yeah. To me, I think it's kind of the perfect turn it on at a party where you don't have to pay attention, but every now and then there's a ridiculous line reading. You know what I mean?
I'll give you that.
It's kind of the perfect, like, you can just be on in the background and, like, you're like, what is happening? And then there's, like, another ridiculous makeup or something that catches your attention. You're like, this is ridiculous. I thought it was good bad for sure.
So I can give it good bad on the first 10 minutes, and then the rest of it's just kind of
just leave it on the background and just like go do other stuff, and then like kind of listen in and hear a line and here and there.
Do more productive stuff with your life.
I had a lot of fun with it. Kyle, as always, everybody can support us on Patreon if they just kicked me. Support us. My legs are kind of stretched. Sorry. On Patreon, if you want, just go to patreon.com/GBorBB and support us for whatever amount of money you want. You can also send us stuff at our P.O. box by this address on the... Well, it's in the bottom. It's in the bottom thing. Mm-hmm. You just click on the info. We also have a merch store called at tpublic.com, TEEPUBLIC.com, and in the search Good Bad or Bad Bad or Quantum Physics, and you'll find our different merch there. Portion of everything you buy supports us. Also, that was all that stuff. I have a podcast called This Film Is It, where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode comes out, the most recent episode we will have done will be Holes, the Shia LaBeouf classic.
Stanley Yelnats, right?
Yelnats. Stanley Yelnats.
It started with a Y.
Yeah, you're thinking of Ipkiss from that's some other character.
That's The Mask.
Yes, Ipkiss. Yeah, that's The Mask. Yes. No, Stanley Yelnats, because it's the same forward and backwards. Yeah. So Holes will be out when you guys are watching this one. And then that's your movie's out. Is it out? I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it.
It's available on the company's website to reserve the screening rights for it, which I'm sure is no less than like $5,000.
Yeah, so it's not out. No. Great, cool. Well, eventually look for Interviewing Monsters and Bigfoot in theaters, never, or in on demand eventually, probably, hopefully. That's it. Until next time, keep watching movies, especially Max Magician
and the Legend of the Rings. Look at it. Listen to him breathe.